Hello, my name is Serena. I am a student of English Studies, and I was recently reading the book written by Sergei Dovlatov, The Compromise. And this book bases on his own experience working as a journalist between 50s and 70s in St. Petersburg and in Tallinn. And so he wrote this book later when he migrated to United States and started his new life, and it was initially a collection of some short stories, some little novellas about every character, and then it formed a book and was published by an immigrant press. But why this book is so important for us to read? Well, I guess it asks a very important and vital question. What is the truth? And it's very interesting because living this life we search for some exact truth, and we can never find it, because if you just go around and ask your friend's opinion on some certain thing or on some certain event, you will be faced with so many different perspectives that I guess you will be just lost in an ocean of them, because it would be boring if we all had the same perspective and thought only in one way. And so if the whole society united and we've been like, yeah, communism is cool, for example, so it's very difficult to find this exact truth. And Davlatov does a very important and interesting thing. He never tries to be a moralizer, and he never tries to give his own truth to readers or to people who were around him or to other characters. He just tries to observe, and because of his skills to observe, it's very interesting to see the society of his time and their beliefs. And I think he tries to portray the world and the ways in which we cannot live. We are not living in these ways, and we are not characters of Davlatov, and we never will be them, because we are always faced with a wave of some facts and some information which consistently changes our truth, and we never find the exact perspective and the exact middle ground. And well, there is a very important episode in the end of this book in terms of truth. He and other characters, they are at the funeral, and the funeral is the moment when you can hear millions of versions of truth about some exact person. And it's very difficult, yes, because if you will ask all your friends, who am I for you, and somebody can say, well, you're a daughter, a student, I don't know, a worker, a co-worker, a reader, and you have so many different perspectives at your life and so many truths that you can't even say who you are, because for yourself you are an absolutely different person. And so at the funeral they hear a lot of the facts from different people and a lot of opinions about one person who is dead. And it's very interesting because this part ends in a very funny way. And I think it's a very deep and important conversation to ask even ourselves what truth means to us. And here can be a very important quote from Roland Barthes when he says, the artwork, when it comes out of the artist's hands, it becomes not more his artwork but interpretations of others. And so I think our art of living just creating this endless interpretations, endless facts, and about different events and about everything which happens in our life. And we cannot be stable with one thing. As characters from Dovlatov's book, they always in this process of moving and change of perspective. And because he wrote this book in a very big space of time, I mean 20 years, that's a lot. So the characters gradually changed, and they changed quite a lot. And it demonstrates us the way how we lose and obtain new ideas and new fascinations in our life. And reading Dovlatov is a very interesting and deep way to just ask society around you, what do you think? And even in modern conversations, I notice it quite often that people more state their opinion than ask questions. And I did this game with metaphors, and I like metaphors, and I like to put everything in a kind of an endless metaphor and ask my friends, what does it mean? What metaphor you would give to this? Because I think it's the most precise way to describe your feelings and your own truth, and it's very interesting to document it and to have like a diary or some statistics how the opinion of this exact friend have changed during the years. And yes, because of this it's very important. And Dovlatov is a very interesting figure. And the most important thing which Dovlatov does in The Compromise, he portrays the way how we cannot live. And that's very important because all his characters are given this theatrical freedom to express their opinion and to express what they feel and what they do and how they relate to things. And it is very different from the way we see modern society, because I think we are very scared to be ourselves sometimes. And I think sometimes we more tend to be trapped in somebody's truth rather than in our own, because we try to systemize things and we try to find this truth in a very easy way, and we think, okay, well, I'll read this book and I'll learn this truth. And I've started this channel from a very ridiculous idea that I wanted to learn the truth about the world. And I ended up asking myself even more questions than learning something about the world. And it's very deep mental process, and I think you need some sort of an isolation. And it's very interesting practice which students are given in Russian acting universities, that they have to be silent for 3 days, not saying a word, to just see and observe how the world moves and how it works. And I think it's also a way to give a space for your own truth and to develop it, because when you don't say anything, so it's not that scary. Because scary is to say something sometimes and to state your opinion, because people can easily disagree. And it's a very deep and mental process to find what your own voice of truth tells and observe these facts coming from other people around you, because there won't be a similar perspective, and there won't be a similar idea if people were given that much of freedom as in a book of Dovlatov. And so I would like to finish this reading with the quote of Andrei Ariev when he says that invented truth in art was more than the truth itself.